piece of music is Jupiter, Bringer of Jollity by Gustav Holst. My name is Caitlin Richardson, and this is for Dr. Patrick Hopkins' music appreciation class, and this is my final presentation. Okay, so this is Gustav Holst. He is the composer of Jupiter. He's an Englishman. He was born September 21st of 1874, and he died in May 1934. He is a musician who comes from a family that was multiple musicians as well. They had 3 different generations. He wanted to be a pianist really bad, but he actually had neuritis in his right arm from practicing so much. He was known for being very, very zealous with music and with practicing. He played multiple instruments, and he loved astrology, which is what gives us the background for Jupiter. So, as I mentioned, this was composed by Englishman Gustav Holst. He's a contemporary composer, so he's not actually from the classical or romantic period. The Planets is actually the song that was written. It had 7 different movements. They were astrology based. So Gustav Holst really loved the planets. He liked talking about how planets and their movements affect the psyche. So he attempted to make a song or a piece that had to do with how he felt about how those planets made him feel. Originally, they were not well liked by music critics. However, now there's a lot more people interested in the songs that he created. So this is actually from the Planets, but I'm focusing on the movement Jupiter. Jupiter is the one that I thought was the most interesting. So he called Jupiter the bringer of jollity, which is actually kind of funny. Whenever we think about Jupiter, we really don't think about a planet that's very happy. We think of a lot of storms. However, he named it the bringer of jollity. Now, it's actually a patriotic theme. So you can hear this back part. That's actually one of the patriotic themes for England. They actually made it into a hymn. It has a lot of allusions of the English folk music, projects a lot of enthusiasm, joy, and a lot of inspiration. These are the instruments used. It's supposed to have a full orchestra. We have brass instruments. We've got horns, trumpets, trombones, tubas. And then we also have the percussions, which is your drums, bass drums, cymbals, tambourines. We also have the woodwinds, strings and keyboards that you can hear in the background. So you have cellos for our strings, violins, violas, woodwinds, piccolo, flutes, clarinets. All of these work together to make the sounds that they need. So going into the different type of musical elements, the first one is the form. The form, I have this written down from Dr. Patrick Hopkins' presentation. Form is the way our music is organized. In this case, it's a rondo. It has different movements in this movement. So it's A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C, A, and it just repeats itself. The melody, we were explained that it's a succession of musical notes and rhythms arranged in a recognized musical unit. It has a major pentatonic scale, a lot of ascending scales, and those melodies are actually heard in the brass instruments. They're also echoed in the wind and strings. The melody gives off a happy and an exuberant energy. The next part was rhythm. Rhythm is the organization of music in time. It groups the longer notes and the shorter notes, and it has patterns based on the beat. And this movement in the planets, it has 2 meters. It has a duple meter, also has a triple meter, which is waltz-like. So it changes between the two. It depends on what movement you're listening into at a particular time. Timbre is, as again, the definition is the distinctive sound that's given to an instrument or voice, or the tone color. I feel like for this song, I chose that it was brassy, kind of bright, and overall just warm. All of those distinctive sounds are given by the brass instruments, by the horns and trumpets. The harmony. Now, harmony was the hardest one for me to kind of explain. It's the way of understanding notes that are being played or sung together. To harmonize a melody is to play supporting notes or complement the melody. So I have the tonality kind of in C major. There's a lot of obscure harmonies, and the thick orchestration that it has gives out out of this world illusions. And the ending, it also has, in the very last coda, we have a lot of arpeggios. Texture. I have the texture of Jupiter that has a relationship between melodic and harmonic elements in a piece, especially of the layers. I have it as polyphonic. We've got the strings that have the white whimsical sounds. We have the wind that have kind of the same effect. We have percussions that are bold and proud, and we also have our brass that are very regal and patriotic. So that concludes my presentation over Jupiter by Gustav Holst and the elements that they have. I got my references from the California State University, I can't pronounce that, Lilautsari. And also I do have some definitions from Dr. Hopkins' presentation. I think that ends my presentation. Thank you so much.